Sure.
Do it.
Jump in. Hello, Biohacker Nation. We're back once again, and as always, we've got myself, Dr. Mike, and the mad scientist waiting for the introduction.
This is Jim. What's up, y'all?
And we have someone else technically hidden right now with us today. Special guest, Joe.
Personal trainer Joe from Jersey Strong Gym. And Joe came on over to Functionize Integrative Therapeutics in order to get functionized. So, Joe, why don't you tell us what was going on and what happened with you?
So, thanks, Mike and Jim. As you guys said, I'm a trainer. It's something that I've always wanted to do. I've always been active for my entire life. A couple years back, I had some real bad hip issues that I had several doctors look at, and nobody could figure out what was going on, what was happening. Nobody really explained what was going on, even when they said they found what was wrong. And it just lingered for years and years. Coming and seeing you guys, I mean, I found things wrong that I didn't even know. Like, even from something from my hip to my toes, my feet, my ankles. I mean, I feel great now. I mean, I worked out this morning, did everything I wanted to, but I just felt tight. I felt something wasn't right. Came in, and I'm probably going to go run right after this because I feel fantastic. I probably haven't felt this good since, years now, like I said.
That's awesome. Very, very nice.
Feels good to be functionized, right?
It's fantastic to be functionized. I didn't even know what that meant until I actually felt it. So, that's not even like a dig or anything like that. I honestly feel 200% better.
You've been functionized.
Not bad for those guys in Cold Snack, right?
Thank you, Joe, for that. And if you would, why don't you hang out with us for a while? Since you're here,
yeah,
hang out with us for the
spend
show.
some time, talk a little bit, give us your expertise on our wonderful topics today, which we'll get into in a second. But first, have a spiel you want to give?
I do.
Let's hear it.
Even though Joe over here has been functionized and went through a treatment process, we're not here to diagnose, treat, cure any disease that you may have or think about having. Go find a competent physician, such as those over at Functionize Integrative Therapeutics over in Colts Neck, New Jersey. If you are nowhere near them, get a plane ticket. Seriously. But
it's well worth it.
This show here is purely for educational and entertainment purposes only. Got it? Good.
I got it. We're good. And as always, if there's anything you love hearing what we have to say, you want to add more stuff, please give us that honest 5-star review. We appreciate it. Helps us out. And go ahead and comment more on Instagram. Direct message us. It's been great hearing from some of you guys. I'd like to keep hearing it.
Absolutely. And for those of you that have been getting onto the Insiders Only section of the website, tell your friends, tell your family, if you want to be part of the Biohacker Nation Insiders Only, simply go to Biohackhumans.com and get in on it. It's very nominal to get in on it, and the information is well worth it. And there's an open forum for you to discuss and ask questions, and we will personally respond to them, of course. So, without further ado...
Time to jump in the show?
Let's jump in the show, talk about some erections,
tanning,
and bugs. Or,
great combination.
Even better. What was it? Tanning, boners, and bugs.
Yep. There we go. And again, 2/3 of those are related. It's going to be an exciting show.
Still trying to figure out where the tanning fits in.
I'm glad you're here then.
So where do we want to start first? Should we let the guests choose, or do you have something pre-planned? Because I'm ready just to go with it.
Why don't we let the guests choose? Because we're going to go over everything anyway. So,
yeah, what order do you want to go first? Pick one. Bugs, boners, or tanning?
Let's start with bugs for 300.
All right. Simple enough. So, right now is the time for summer, obviously, at least where we're at. And people are going outside a lot more. And I've had a few questions about, a direct question was we had... I had someone ask me, so I was out in the woods with my family, and there's 5 of them. One person was bit a good dozen times, and nobody else was. And I was asked why.
Makes
Great
sense.
question, because I'm sure no one wants to be a bug magnet. Though, I mean, apparently statistically, about 1 out of every 5 of us, almost 20% of us are. And there are certain reasons for it, and even better, there's ways that we can try to be less attractive by bugs, especially mosquitoes, ticks, because we don't want Lyme's disease, correct, Jim?
Really? We're going over that? Saying that ticks don't cause Lyme disease? I thought we kind of debunked that a little bit. Was it last week?
Debunked that one? Yeah. Last week. So, yeah. Quick little shout out for that one. But first, I'll just hit a few things of why Joe, for example, might be more of a bug magnet or why he's more delicious to them.
And I can walk through a forest and get nothing, right?
Actually, let's start with that. Do you get bitten a lot?
I used to.
Because I know your blood type, and that's part of this.
A few years ago, I used to. There's some nutritional tweaks, and I don't remember the last time I actually got bit.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Any idea what tweaks you're talking about, or was this when you completely changed everything? So.
I have a handful of fruit in the morning. That's about it, other than my green sludge that I drink throughout the day.
Pond sludge.
The pond sludge, the green vibrance, which is phenomenal. But other than that, I mean, as you know, I'm mostly keto, so my carbs come from vegetables. Everything else comes from fat and moderate protein. So that's pretty much when it's slowed down.
We had obviously some that's going to have effect. We'll talk about it. First, let's go with the things you can't change, the bad news. First, blood type. I believe you are O? Something?
Oh, and I'm a positive guy, so let's go with that.
Well, you guys being O are actually twice as likely to get bitten than A's.
That would make sense.
B's fall into place kind of in between, but more of the less bitten, like the A's. Something that's kind of interesting is mosquitoes they actually sniff out what blood type we are. So different species has a different preference for what they go for.
It's like kind of sniffing what's for dinner.
Exactly, actually. And 85% of us, roughly, tell them very well what our blood type is. There's certain chemicals that we secrete that somehow their sniffers can pick up what our blood type is. So they can pick out what they want to dinner in the buffet menu.
Mm.
So if you're O-type, and you're one of those that releases this chemical, you're probably on the dinner menu. So if you don't want to get bit, find an O blood type and walk through the woods with them, I guess is a good way to start. So that's something else we go up to. So genetics. Anytime science can't figure something out, they always chalk it up to genetics. Whether there's reason to believe it or not, it kind of seems their way. If we don't know what it is, it must be genetic.
Diabetes is genetic, isn't it? It doesn't mean the whole family eats the same exact thing together, but, it's got to be genetic.
Right, and so, like everything else, they believe a decent amount of this could be genetic, but they don't really know what that would mean or why. The only proof of that is when they take twin studies. Fraternal twins, identical twins, they throw them out in the woods. The identical twins are much more likely to have the same response of bitten or not bitten. And you have something to say.
No, this is just I'm thinking. Experiment. Let's take 2 babies just born, throw them out in the middle of the woods all night long.
See how it happens.
See what happens. I mean, that's a great idea. Nothing can go wrong.
All right, let's avoid lawsuits on that one. So another thing, things that we can actually do is simply what you wear. And I'm not talking baggy, loose clothing, though everyone would recommend that to stop from bugs, but there's actually not so much it shows that really helps. If they want to bite you, they're going to bite you where you don't have clothes. We'll get to more seconds. They bite in certain areas for different reasons. But clothing, dark clothes, blacks, dark blues, reds, you're about 3 times more likely to get bit than if you're wearing yellow, bright greens. Oddly enough, I couldn't find anything in the studies about skin colors. It was only about clothes colors. So we can assume what you want. I don't know. But you kind of hit a little bit with the diet and nutrition aspect. We'll just say larger people in general get bitten a lot more. Whether you're just 8 foot tall, kind of larger, or you're completely overweight, you're going to get bit more. Also, if you have certain conditions, diabetes is a huge one. Mm-hmm. Any sort of cancers, liver, kidney damage, more likely to get bitten. And the main reason, or pregnancy, if you've got that health condition. So it's got an ICD-10 code. It's considered a health condition.
You should probably just clarify that to all the listeners. Being pregnant is not a health condition. It's a natural part of life. Congratulations if you are.
But the reasons why these people tend to get bitten more seems to be a lot to do with they breathe out a lot more CO2. Carbon dioxide, you just let more out when you are larger, which is also why kids don't get bitten nearly as much as adults. They're smaller. They're not going to breathe out as much. And mosquitoes especially do go after high concentrations of CO2, especially when there is more lactic acid or uric acid in the system. It's probably going to be more interesting to you for this because don't exercise out in the woods. We'll come back to that in a second.
All right, good to know.
I mean, go ahead. Just make sure someone larger than you is exercising harder.
That's probably not going to happen.
So we want to make sure that it's an O-positive, pregnant, diabetic out in the woods with you.
Wearing dark clothes.
We're getting to a start. Yeah, we'll have that rap sheet at the end. We'll let you go ahead and wrap it all up when we get down there. So yeah, lactic acid and uric acid buildup, actually, that's something mosquitoes, again, most species go after with their little sniffer. There are things we can do to decrease it. Obviously, when you exercise, we get the lactic acid buildup. We've talked about this on 1 or 2 podcasts. Mm-hmm. Unless you're ready to delve back into it, we'll just say, listen to our past podcasts if you don't know more about that.
Yeah, start from beginning. Well, start from episode 2.
2, yes, 2 onward.
Go from 2 on.
We'll just continue on. So, the other big thing that mosquitoes and bugs in general tend to go after is, depending on what kind of flora you have on your skin, what kind of bacteria. If you notice, bugs tend to bite more on the ankles and then around the upper arms, axial armpit area. There's reasons for it. Sweat collects there. What does sweat tend to have? Good question. Well, uric acid and lactic acid. They've done studies where they took bactericidal soap, washed those areas, and bugs didn't bite them anymore. So I don't know, I thought that was kind of interesting. So do your basic hygiene also. Shower. Less likely to get bit.
Once a month, you're good. Got it.
Right on. And diet, more things with it. What you eat can actually make a difference on how much lactic acid you have built up. Do you know this? Are you familiar with this? You eat a lot of these foods.
I had an idea, but go ahead.
Fermented foods. As great as they are, we can do a show and a half on itself on benefits of fermented foods, but don't eat them right before you go out in the woods. You are more likely to get bit. Again, the lactic acid buildup that comes from it. And also certain medications. There's 2 common ones you might have heard of, Tylenol and metformin. You know, how much of the population are on these?
Fascinating.
Yeah, they also increase significantly the lactic acid buildup, which will make you tastier.
So it goes with the diabetic part. So I wonder if it's being diabetic itself or the metformin.
It seems to be a little bit of both, because diabetics are going to be larger. You're going to breathe out more CO2, more of...
For the most part, absolutely, yeah.
So it's...
got a lot of things going for them to be bit.
Yeah, so I mean, general health. Stay healthy. You're less likely to get bit. It's really what it comes down to, which is nice, because it just makes it easier for everyone. Be healthier. Why not? Last thing, this is the sad one, is depending on, I guess, your social life, this is a sad one, staying sober. If you have just 3 sips of beer or alcohol, and the studies are it was mostly beer, you are 4 to 5 times more likely to get bit. Nothing was really be able to prove why. There were theories that were all debunked. You're like, oh, because you're hotter, so you sweat more. Alcohol doesn't make you hotter, which you saw instantly that hit you too.
Yeah, that didn't make sense.
Bugs just want to get drunk.
It could be the bugs just want to get drunk. Yeah, that's a possibility. Thank you, Joe.
We talked about the liver before.
We did.
And so the liver, you may be putting some different pheromones out, in this case during that time. I'm just rambling on with the thought process here of how that could work.
These are theories that I had with it too. And the best ideas I can think of that's already been half proven is when you drink, you do sweat more.
Yes, you do.
So, I mean, that goes back to the lactic acid, uric acid might be easier for them to smell out. And then you're going to usually breathe heavier when you're drinking too. But only 3 sips. I don't know how much that's going to make a difference. These people had 2 ounces of alcohol.
That's it.
That's it. And it was a noticeable difference. And, I mean...
Did the study, by chance, say anything about the size of the individual?
They did not.
Because, 3 ounces, 2 ounces for Trainer Joe over here, and he's on the floor. 3 ounces for me, and I'm just getting going.
Yeah, they didn't do anything with the blood alcohol levels. It was simply 2 ounces of beer. And so, I mean, I thought that was really cool.
It is.
The only other possibility is it does dilate a lot of blood vessels, especially the superficial ones, so maybe it's...
Blood's closer to the surface.
Let's
go for it.
It's
I can smell it. It's kind of like getting closer to the kitchen when you're smelling dinner cooking.
And actually, these, again, a lot of these studies were done on mosquitoes. They can smell this stuff over 150 feet away. So you don't have to get too close to them. They'll find you. and pick you out of the best of the pack.
And then when you see it on you, you clench your muscle, watch it fill up with your blood, and then doesn't know how to stop.
All about that. Well, anyway.
Taught the kids that one over the weekend.
All right. Just this weekend.
Yep, and they're getting old enough now to know that if a bug's biting you, you can make it explode.
Biohacking natural insecticides.
It's you or them, you know? I mean, it's not like finding an innocent ant on the ground and squishing it. I actually have scolded them for doing that.
Okay, good for you.
Because the ants have done nothing wrong. But if someone's attacking you, something's attacking you in that manner, then it's the natural way to defend yourself. So.
Yeah, I mean, if Joe comes over to bite me, I'll defend myself too. I don't know if flexing will be enough. Depends on how easy intimidating he is, I guess.
It might.
But so yeah, in general, wear white clothing. Don't sweat as much. Be around other people that has better habits of getting bitten by bugs. Don't drink. I know. I'm from the woods of Pennsylvania. When you go camping, drinking's going to happen.
And you're probably going to have some fermented foods, sauerkraut or something like that.
Yes. Yeah, 100%. And we just made Joe hungry.
And you're by a fire, so you might sweat a little bit. You just...
And then just, general health. There are natural things you can do if you want to keep bugs away for a little bit more, like staying closer to a campfire. Mm-hmm. Bugs don't like smoke. Or here's a fun one. If you just rub a bunch of tobacco on you, that also stops bugs. There's chemicals in there. I don't have the name written down for me. Joe likes that one too. So yeah, just rub tobacco down on you. Why not? So, ready to talk about...
boners?
Boners.
So, you want to talk about boners?
Let's talk about boners.
First we're talking about beer, now we're talking about boners. This is going in a very awkward direction.
You want to talk it close to the microphone, it'll help.
So,
just grab it from me.
Who in here, by a show of hands that no one can see, thinks suntans are sexy?
Some people might be able to see them.
It's not live yet, but yeah, okay, we'll go with that.
Okay, at this moment, no one can see it.
So,
but I think pale is perfect. Just
pale is
throw
perfect,
that one out there.
Vampirism is perfect. Now, we all understand that by this point, radiation from the sun can mutate your DNA in your skin, right?
I'd say radiation from most radioactive sources, but yeah, we'll specify that.
In this case here, skin and overexposure to the sun. I mean, a lot of people say stay indoors, don't ever go out, use a SPF 10,000. But we actually, as we've discussed before, live in that dark bubble. But we understand we need that sun, as we talked about in the past couple weeks on vitamin D production. No sun, no vitamin D production. Sure, you could swallow a pill, but that's just not as good.
Yeah, natural source is always better. We'll just drop the word bioavailability. We haven't hit that yet today.
I love it.
So, done.
It's about time. We still got to work in crap ton somehow.
I'm sure it'll happen.
So, all right, with a crap ton of radiation, you get skin cancer.
That was forced.
I got it. I feel so much better. So, in individuals with pale skin, they are far more likely to be burnt by the sun. I mean, this is kind of basic. Those with darker colored skin, caused by more melanin in the skin. Olive Joe. We got Trainer Joe, Olive Joe. Maybe throw another zinger in there for you later.
Maybe I'll morph. I'll morph at some point. We'll come something else.
Your chances of burn are far less likely.
Yes.
The melanocytes increase in the skin, melanin, and you're more protected. So dark you are, less chance of burnt, less chance of skin cancer. So let's go in a little different direction here now that we've established that.
Going back to those boners, right?
Yeah, lack thereof. I mean, since the dawn of man, men have struggled with erectile dysfunction.
Some men. Don't push this on all of us here, Jim.
I'm not. I'm just saying man in general. We've got the alpha crew here, but at the same time, others are not as fortunate, unfortunately.
Fully functionized, dysfunction-free.
So the shaman and now other doctors have been utilizing pills, potions, and whatnot.
Voodoo.
Inserts, whatnot. Yeah, the surgical inserts just to
I've heard about
help
that.
men out a little bit.
People do anything to be able to do it.
So let's start putting in suntans and erections together now. Let's kind of see where this is going.
Mix.
So in the 1960s, there have been some scientists. They were developing a drug to improve erections in men. Guys with erectile dysfunction, let's give them another drug and improve erections. And it was a great idea at first. And then they noticed a little side effect was the fact that the men were also getting a tan complexion.
Interesting side effect.
So now you're able to be aroused, and hey, you look better. I mean, it's kind of a win-win. So let's get a little sciencey here to see how it works. So this substance that they were using now is called Melanotan 2. The second generation 2.
Oh,
it's like the sequel to the movie. It acts as a non-selective agonist on melanocortin receptors. So in that case here, we are producing more melanocytes in the body. Your eyes,
Makes a lot of sense.
hair, skin. You can turn an Irishman dark brown, and I've seen it before.
Yeah, that was actually quite impressive.
Right?
Yeah.
So the idea that to the extent this substance that's deemed now melanotan 2 producing melanogenesis is believed to be causing well, we're not quite sure how it acts on the sexual effects. Let's just put it that way. But it's understood how the tanning
works.
happens.
They're happy about that part, I'm sure.
So some of the side effects, there's side effects to every drug that there is.
Hmm?
And this stuff, by the way, is not fit for human consumption.
We're going to throw that out here halfway through.
So nobody, I'm not recommending anyone goes out and actually uses it, but if you were...
Don't be a human.
Right. Drug companies, obviously, say don't use it.
We're going to keep making it.
So some side effects are 8 hours of lasting erections that, I always joked around with the sildenafil. What's that? The Viagra.
Yes.
It's the sildenafil citrate.
You remember sildenafil?
But I forget Viagra. Yeah. That, if you experience an erection longer than
8 hours, call your doctor and
call 911, whatever.
shove a needle in
right,
it. Yep.
Bragging about that. Dude, look at this. I mean, 8 hours, still going. Well, in this case here, that is a side effect. Priapism is the medical term, if you would. Some other less pleasant side effects that come on are headaches and some nausea that come along with it. Now,
Those are less desirable.
more people that I've heard that have utilized this before have said that they kind of diminish over time. It's kind of just your body's way of getting used to it. So it's like...
Don't you also usually start I think we're going to talk this in a minute, but don't you also usually start in higher doses and drop down?
Yes.
So I don't know if that could be part of it as well or not. Or if
not so much higher dose. Well, we'll get into dosing, actually.
I'm doing that thinking thing. I'm sorry.
So why the heck not? So there's been some studies on some little rodents. Yeah, of course, you can't experiment on humans. You got to experiment on the rodents. And they also noticed that a side effect was weight loss. Now, my old thought process of how this worked, if you have nausea and headaches, are you going to want to eat? So most likely the rodents were nauseated, having little headaches, and didn't want to eat. I did not ask them, so I'm unable to tell you that for certain. Yeah. But like I was saying before, the medical community discourages utilizing melanotan 2 whatsoever.
If there's still in mouse studies with it, it makes sense. Safer than sorry.
But we're bringing this up here as just educational purposes. Why not? Some other things they did also document were new nevi, which are moles, and uneven pigmentation. Now, some of the stuff that I found caused great concern.
Oh, jeez. Tell me about this great concern, Jim. You have me all worried and anxious.
Well, when the person stopped using it, it all went away. So I think it's pretty much how the individual's genetics were able to produce suntans. So if you go out and get a suntan and you have dark pigmentation in one area, the same thing may happen utilizing the melanotan.
Okay, I buy it.
Mm-hmm. So the idea of utilizing melanotan, though, other than the nauseous headache erections, is to also protect against the harmful UV rays. It gives you a bolder, firmer tan. You're not getting to the stand-up beds. You are not going outside of... Yep, you're not going out to the beach, rubbing oil on you, spending hours upon hours to find out 20 years from now, you have skin cancer.
That sun just got right through that oil.
Just happened, right?
Yeah.
So, here's some different ideas here that have been developed on how to actually use it. you go by your skin type, extremely fair skin, all the way through, say, an olive type complexion. Don't take all the doses at once.
Fair enough.
Just saying.
Throw it out there.
So they talk about a loading phase, just to kind of saturate your body. Now, unlike the loading phase of creatine, which is a bunch of bunk, the loading phase here actually does start to stimulate more production of melanocytes. So you typically do this for 10 days, 2 weeks, every other day, utilizing it. And then 2 weeks after that, you back down to 2 days, you have your desired complexion, and then kind of a maintenance of once a week.
Okay.
Now, it typically takes 4 months for the tan to go away. So this is a long-lasting tan.
Yeah. That's longer than what the sun can do for most people, isn't it?
Exactly. I mean, the sun typically is, at most, if you're really good, 2 to 3 months. You know, many people notice it's gone in just a month.
Or at least definitely fading at that point, for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
So if anyone ever should decide to experiment with Melanotan 2, remember, it's not made for human consumption. I'm just throwing it out there. But if you do...
The mice.
Yes,
if you're a mouse, go right ahead.
If you're a mouse, have at it.
You might lose weight, who knows?
But if you should get it for some reason, make sure you store it in a... it comes in a powder. Make sure you store it in the freezer. It won't last long unfrozen. Do not mix it with the bacteriostatic water and then start freezing it. Again, not a good idea. It's a mix. And there's 2 ways to administer it. One is nasal inhalation.
Ah.
And that way some people find very effective, others do not. The other way is a subdermal injection. Right. Not into the muscle, just into the fat. A little, I guess, something small to get it in there with all that's needed, according to my research on paper. So, Joe, it's been great having you here.
Oh, yeah.
Anything that you want to say before we close out today?
I mean, I definitely learned a lot about bugs, boners, and tanning.
There are a lot more than that, but yeah.
But no, it's the perfect time of season, especially here in Jersey, to go about it. I mean, we're getting into barbecues and everything like that, and you're going to be outside. People are constantly looking for, again, I was going with bugs.
Oh.
Where did I put that? No.
Looking to stay away from bugs.
Smart idea.
But yes, boners and tanning as well. So it definitely brought up some interesting topics and how they can relate to each other. I never thought I would be talking about
tanning.
Tanning. I never thought I'd be talking about tanning on a live podcast.
Yeah, I mean, the coolest thing about, here with Biohackers is we have a crap ton of things to talk about. And
Boom,
we'll always have
twice.
stuff to go on about. So, again, feel free to instant message us. If there's something you want to hear about or you have questions or challenges, we love it. Please send it out.
Just a little update. If anybody has a local restaurant that serves fast food,
Oh, yes.
for the fast food experiment, the keto fast food experiment to
Keto-size me.
So far, it's been over a week, and I have not heard back from Burger King. So I may cross them off the list. There's the other big ones to go after. So
Looking for volunteers.
I would not mind doing a Mexican-style Taco Bell one. They have a lot more variety on the menu than just eating burgers every day.
That would get kind of monotonous. But, it's all for science, right?
It is for science.
But if it's tasty science, and
why not?
change the palate a bit.
We also still are accepting donations from patrons.
Always.
So as we're still a 501c3 nonprofit, check with your tax advisor before doing your taxes. Your donation may possibly be deductible. So to upgrade studios, upgrade quality, and upgrade what we can do and present and give to the entire Biohacker Nation.
Maybe upgrade our guests.
Upgrade our guests would be a great idea. Where did you find this guy? I'm kidding.
I mean, I was just walking down the road.
Please feel free to donate. All donations are greatly accepted, and they will go directly to what we're doing here, and that is to educate the public on improving performance of the
All
human
aspects
type.
of health. Yeah.
Exactly.
Becoming more than human.
And once again, we thank Functionize Integrative Therapeutics
Thank
for
you.
everything. And for anybody who has not purchased the Supercells.
Oh, yes.
We just did a little promotion with my
Partnership.
Supercell.
You guys are awesome.
They are awesome, out of Australia. They have the hydrogen tabs, which has been shown to be a phenomenal antioxidant of all sorts for the entire body. It's almost like, it's like another cure-all, but it's not something from the Amazon rainforest. It's just a basic element, hydrogen.
And stuff that, is bioavailable, things that work. It's nice. I mean, if you're going to spend your money on supplements, get stuff that's going to work.
Absolutely. They've got a great liquid mineral blend that I've been using after my workouts
Oh, yeah.
to replenish from all the sweating I've been doing as I've been doing the longer runs now through the 90-degree heat in the woods. So I have a little drink of that afterward just to replace the minerals lost, as well as they have an oxygen, believe it or not, liquid oxygen. It smells like pool, but I guess tastes like oxygen.
What does oxygen taste like?
I'll let you have some.
What's-
Let you see what it's like. It is...
Wow, you must really like it. You're going to let them have some oxygen?
drink some
There you go.
oxygen.
Man.
I actually do notice I have more endurance after taking the oxygen. So I take it before my workout, about 30 minutes beforehand, and I'm noticing an increased endurance. I don't
Good
know
stuff.
if it is objective. It's purely subjective at this point, but at the same time, winning is a lot mental.
Yeah. I mean, you can do what you're doing, or you can end up taking all that crap ton of extra stuff.
Boom! Thank you, Joe.
Nice, one for each.
I couldn't leave without getting warning. But seriously, you can, if that's really going to help. I mean, I see people constantly that are taking 3 to 4 different things before they work out, and are they getting the results they want?
And they all have the same 3 or 4 things in each of them. And
Mhm.
Exactly.
Hydrogen, oxygen,
Yeah.
and some bioavailable minerals. You really can't go wrong with that, can you?
That's exactly it. And I mean, if they have it all, why not get them all from one place?
Absolutely. So thank you, my Supercells. Good luck to you, and keep doing what you're doing. And before we go, I'm sure our audience may be wondering, where's our music?
Oh, yeah.
So we are going to be getting some new music. Rob Zombie and actually White Zombie, Rob Zombie's a part of it, is not wanting us to continue to use the awesome music, even though it was fine for my walkout music, playing baseball, but, here, I guess, we need to find something, even though I did actually reach out to the record label. You know what? Let's just keep on moving forward.
Yeah, we'll have more music.
Exactly.
Something just as intense. Let you get all pumped up to hear about science.
Why don't we get some live bands in here? That was just an idea that went through my head. Kind of a...
Test the acoustics, why not?
get us kicked out of this rental real quick.
I don't know, I just pictured a mariachi band coming.
That's exactly what popped in my head too. I was
Really?
like,
Wow.
just so I could put a little mariachi band off in the corner.
Again, guys, this is for us. This is Friday. Mind shot mariachi is on the mind.
Mind shot mariachi. Something new.
Actually, it came from the Taco Bell comment, I think.
Oh, okay.
All right, we should run for the
Yeah,
board.
I think. Okay, we're on a roll. Let's get out of here. I'm done. How about you?
Yeah, let's call it done.
All right. Till next week. Thank you, Biohacker Nation. This is Dr. Mike. I'm Audi, and
Thank you, Joe.
Joe. Thank
Thanks
you.
for having me, guys. It was awesome. Once again, anytime you guys need me, I'll be around.
This is Mad Scientist Jim. Once again, we're out.
Peace.